In life?
I think we're about to live in 1 2 seconds. Okay, we're live.
All right, welcome to the Contemplative CrossFit Mind Stream episode 9. Um, this is a show for practitioners who have had genuine openings but still get lost and still find themselves navigating through dark nights, bliss, whatever cycle they've been navigating through alone, and they still get lost. And for recovering non-dual zombies who are beginning to realize everything happening by itself can be an excuse to not take responsibility or ownership for their lives and examining their own conditionings. I put a quote that there's a couple of really good quotes from this week's transmission. One is freedom is responsibility, not freedom from responsibility. Yeah, the two are the same thing. With great power comes great responsibility. Yeah, and the Odyssey understands this too, right? The Odyssey has the strength, like intelligence, to conquer almost everything. But then those very powers also kind of prolong his journey home. He has to pay all his karmic debt. He got lost so many times, but then he realizes that he has to take full ownership, right? Pay off all the debts, or the debris has to be purified. And the victory is not the end, right? You still have to go home. And I think I think that's pretty relatable. Yeah. There's another. Let me go to another quote real quick. You are not the object negation, but neither are you the subject of realization. I really like that one.
I like that one a
That's
lot.
a really good one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think a lot of times we get lost because we hang on to the realization. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
big one.
Yeah.
Like I
What?
remember after shifts, like there's so much proliferations over like, oh man, I attend this, I attend that. I had this sensation, but then you don't notice it. You just kind of because you're the openness can be so like profound and blissful. You just kind of bypass it. It was like you don't even see like you're making it into a thing. Like when we talk about cessation this week, right? And that's one of the most common themes, like a cessation is not a thing, but then you come back, you make it a thing immediately. Yeah.
Yeah, we tell a story about it. We want to keep revisiting that, or people now tell a story about us.
Yeah, 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 like the Odyssey.
What's
Yeah, the
what is it
stories.
about the Odyssey that do you think make you kind
Yeah, I cried. I cried a
of
lot. Yeah. I don't know. I just really felt into like not a lot of I don't know. I I don't want it to be like unrelatable, but I don't know if you can relate. I pretty much you can tell me if you can relate, but it's like it's not finished, right? It's like you have the victory, you open up the gate of Troy, and then okay, there's like, oh yeah, we got the victory. But then with that victory, it comes all this thing that floods, right? That's just like an opening. But then even after the gate of Troy is open, there's still all these things you gotta slaughter. And then even after all the men died, you still have to go home by yourself. But then you're never by yourself, right? Like there's like the gods that disrupt you, and give you signals, and there's gods that help you, other beings that help you. So. And I really like the part when the goddess that he was trapped in the island with, the demigod
Calypso?
goddess. Yeah, yeah. She was like, "This flower is to ease your awakening." He was like disoriented as fuck. You can't remember shit.
Non-dual zombie throughout 7 years, just
Yeah,
missing
yeah.
out. Yeah.
Missing out. Yeah, and then I think a big theme is like taking responsibility. Yeah,
Mm,
it's like in order to go home, he has to reclaim everything. And then we talked a lot about taking ownership without a self view. Yeah,
yeah.
it's like it seems like a dishes is like not really blaming or taking ownership of anything. He just kind of take responsibility without like pinning it to like something or someone. Yeah, that's what I thought. What did you think? You just saw it, right?
Yeah, I saw it yesterday. Um, I I really the scene where he decided to get out of that island, or maybe this is spoiling a little bit. Sorry.
I know spoilers.
But
Yeah, I think I spoiled a bunch of it.
the theme about it is like Odyssey is he believes he can control the fate over the god, right? He can defy the gods.
Mm,
And there is that unfolding of like he just can't do it, and they become very resentful,
mm,
and then just completely get lost on the way back, and he has to literally give up. and just
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, that part. Yeah, it took him a while to give up, right? Yeah, 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 yeah. Interesting. Because the scene where he was on the raft,
yeah, yeah,
it
yeah.
was like, yeah, yeah,
That
that
was
was
very
amazing.
touching for me. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a touching scene. Yeah.
Because I don't know. I think we were just discussing before we go live about how to title this episode about why we still get lost after realization, the Odyssey home. Because
Hmm.
I do see that even if we can say that the start of our path, like the entrance into the flow of Dharma happened multiple years ago or something like that, but because we continue to live, engage, and respond to other people,
Mm,
you have a partner, I have a wife, and in that way, uh, our karma still continue to entangle with others,
for
right?
sure. Yeah,
And,
yeah.
and in that mixture, there's still so much potential for getting lost in the
Getting
sauce
lost in
or
thoughts. Yeah.
conflict or the ramification of the insight a few years ago. Like we could do it, but that's just like one moment in time where maybe in that moment we could like fully open. But then now that come the next set of challenge and the next set of challenge and the next set of challenge. And
Yeah,
just
yeah, that, yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
on and
that
on,
part.
and it's like, oh man, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. It's like Odysseus. It's like, oh, there's like more shit, more shit. Like,
yeah,
keep coming out to test his religion fitness.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah,
I think another part that got me really touched is like the transmission of it. It's kind of like, okay, this is a story that lived like, I don't know, so like for 3,000 years.
mm,
Yeah, and a lot, before I saw it, I started reading people talking about the trailer, how they're so pissed off. There's like, man, you're fucking with what the Greek was trying to do, man. You're casting all those actors of different races.
yeah,
But then I was like, that's the point because it's supposed to reflect the modern times. It's like the reason why the Odyssey is still alive today is because every time you retell it, every time you transmit it or perform, it changes a little bit and it changes you. Yeah, and it's supposed to reflect whatever is going on right now. So actually, reinterpretation actually is part of the story.
yeah,
Because even Homer, right? I was reading about Homer. I was like, Homer is not really a person. It's like nobody knows who Homer is, but people like want to pin it. It's like we gotta know who Homer is. But the Homer is just like a collection of cosmic conditionings. It's like it's like the Odyssey doesn't really belong to anyone, but it also
mm,
belongs to like everyone, whatever time we perceive it is what gives rise to the story, like arising in our time. So I actually think that's kind of brilliant. Even the criticism is like a mirror, right? It's like, oh, this is the culture where we live in right now. Yeah.
yeah. And I have a few points about this, which I do want to connect and ask you about actually. Number one is that the start of the story, Odysseus already becomes a legend, right? He's already a hero, like won the victory of Troy with his cunningness, his ability to outmaneuver the opposition,
Hmm.
and he becomes a legend. Um, but still, then because he wants to make it back home, he wants to fulfill his promises. Now he also have to come and face the impact of that choice. He's broke some rules, right? He
Yeah.
made that broke
Hmm.
Zeus's law in that way, which actually I'd like to ask you because I see in some ways now that we talk about non-dual zombie and like internet dharma, but I kind of see that in 2020 you broke through and made also the video about your journey, right? Which also got a lot of people on the path. But I wonder if you can relate to audiences in the way also of like you
Interesting.
participate with, like getting a lot of people on the path, but then you also seeing like, oh, what have I created? Like,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
because now there is also, I think one of the recent Instagram story you post about people who follow you from 2020 and 2024 they were like, wait, what's going on now? Like,
Yeah.
I thought we're going this way.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Now I
Yeah.
wonder how you relate to that aspect of like recognizing more of what has become of your
Mhm.
creation.
That's a good one. Um, yeah, I was kind of going back and forth with this guy on YouTube, and I was just seeing how like maybe I created something that it might not be beneficial actually. So I can see how they're kind of stuck in their view. I was like, man, this could be dangerous. I was like,
Yeah.
man, how do I deal with this? You know?
Yeah. Because in
Yeah,
Odysseus, it was the case, right? Like
yeah.
he broke the rules of hospitality. Because
Oh, right.
in order for that civilization to function, they need to
Mm,
trust a stranger,
mm,
right? and
Yeah.
they need a lot of exchange of gift and goodwill. So like if they back away and they give it a gift, that means like it's over. It's the war is done. But
Mm,
he broke that by like he disguised the gift as the weapon. So then
mm,
it becomes like the underlying theme about the people at the sea, like people at the sea about like there is this kind of barbaric force that
mm,
is uh, you know, pillage and plunder everywhere, da, 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 da. And then he comes to recognize that, wait a minute, because I did that, now it's to give everyone a permission to like, fuck the Zeus's law. I'm just gonna take whatever I want to take.
mm, mm.
So it become a very interesting
Interesting.
kind of using this yeah, so some folks also using spirituality or this kind of spiritual materialism to bypass or justify a lot of their behaviors or actions, right?
Yeah, 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 definitely. I also did that in the past. And also the part about almost like causing a havoc. It's like, oh, I was just immediately you start thinking about like the people that I kind of hurt along the journey. It's like
Yeah,
my ex-girlfriends, my family. It's like now I'm in a very healthy relationship, but like I had to go through so many iterations, not just pre-awakening, but post-awakening.
yeah,
It's like all this debris and the karmic entanglement, as you mentioned. It's like it hurt a lot of people actually. Yeah, yeah, the people that are close to me, and then had to like one of the reason why I have to like I remember like just kneeling down in front of my dad and paying all this coming dad, just stuff like that, and it's just like, oh, you cannot not get lost in the sauce unless you actually pay these karmic debt. Because one of the reasons why I get lost in the sauce is because it's like you're so buried in this karmic entanglement, and then you have to face it. You have to like make right, kind of make right with you know whoever you, that whoever's life becomes disrupted because like the debris you created. Yeah, you know
yeah,
that's one aspect. Yeah, and yeah, and I was just seeing how like when I was like talking about we've been talking about the importance of a companionship and how you can't really do this alone. That's gonna be a big theme, right? Like a lot of people are going through like dark nights or like reaching the edge in week 10, and then
yeah,
we're just talking about how like it's very difficult to navigate through this alone. And then even when I start talking about this, it's like I don't think they get a message. Like, yeah, Frank, of course you can do this alone. Yeah, you did it alone. I was like, yeah, there's a lot more to go, but it's just I don't know. I think time will tell. I think as long as kind of keep doing what you're doing and be aware, be more aware of like the ripple you create. I think those people, I don't want to say catch up, but like hopefully it will make sense. But I don't, I also don't want to like overcorrect myself because like everything I did in the past was like it's still legit from my perspective of my
yeah,
journey. But then it's like don't copy me, like you have your own path. Yeah. But it's hard, right? Because you put your stuff out there and and it's just there, right? It's like my old debris, but at the same time, it's like a lot of this the people coming to CC were the people that saw these videos or this
yeah.
content.
And
So
like, hey, like shout out to you as well for you make a decision to because there's another choice which is just deleting everything, right?
delete everything on high there. Yeah, I haven't thought about that in a while, but there was so many times I was like, I was just not gonna put out anything. It's too much karmic entanglement when I started to really realize that. But then I was just like, nah.
Yeah.
I
So
think that
now it's
I have
like
my Dharma.
the way through is through, right? Like you have
Yeah,
to
yeah,
create and
yeah.
structure,
Because
make
that's another way of hiding. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. That's another way of hiding. Yeah. Yeah, I do think a lot of my work right now is actually just processing these depths, actually.
yeah,
A lot of my journey right now is actually just processing this depth and just be a little bit more aware of like what I'm putting out there and stuff like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think for me as well, this whole
And not back down. I mean, not be like, oh man, that I didn't like that part of myself. That's not the case for me, but still.
yeah. You were saying that we are in week 10 right now, so this is
Yeah.
usually the territory where we're kind of starting to make peace with whatever dark night we are facing in the cohort.
Hmm. Yeah.
And the end of last week, I was going through a lot last week actually, like trying to submit a proposal for a paper, but then to recognize that I've been not done my due diligence. So the paper is very thin. I can't submit that. I was trying really hard to like cramp it to like
Mm,
just add more. But then I'm just seeing like this is creating so much suffering and it's repeating the cycle of last minute, lack of preparation, all this, and just so much pain that comes from these kind of situation. And I think for me right now, one of the dark night is just to sit with myself and contend with my own problems.
mm,
Yeah.
mm.
Because I see, for example, I think so I don't know how Albert did it because I think Albert also cracked the anatta quite young.
Early.
It
Yeah,
was
yeah,
like
like you.
22 or something like that. And it was dawning for me at around 24 or 25, something like that. And I think also riding with, like CC, with Mei Chang, bootcamp coming in, this cohort was really like a huge wake-up call in terms of the amount of pride that has been like just
Mm,
a spiritual ego has been
mm,
building for me. And it was just so painful. It's extremely
mm,
painful, actually.
mm.
Because it was
Yeah.
so much kind of like skipping steps or bypassing or thinking that I know something. But when
Mm,
actually if I slow down, I realize like I don't know what I'm talking about. And
mm,
then like just then I had to look back at like wow, I was really confident when I was saying those things. But also not over like because there are also the other side, which is trying to overcorrect, like wanting to like, oh, so I'm not gonna say anything anymore.
mhm,
These kind of back and forth and yeah, which is very interesting, right? We have an opening, we have a realization, we have the capacity to seize our narrative, like going beyond that appropriation, me making, my making, and having that kind of open up relief. But afterwards, then you will start to see the old program kicking back or like the karma that you involved in, and you're starting to see the horror of it.
mm.
Actually, yeah, like disillusionment of like, oh, this is the karmic bill that I gotta pay now
Yeah, yeah. You gotta
to
pay
get me
all
to
of
that
it.
point. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The karmic debt is like it's almost like all the cosmic condition that got you your opening, like those forces that kind of supported you, right? But at the same time, it's like, how do you pay off those debt?
Yeah, now you got to be
Yeah,
responsible for it. Now you got
that,
to respond to it. Yeah.
yeah. That's what I've been thinking a lot about, like my mom and my dad. Actually, it's like I realized like what they had to go through to kind of allow me to do this. Yeah. So right now, just like little things like spending time with my mom and try to not make the house a mess. I try to do the dishes as quickly as possible. The little thing. Getting, I'm still not the best at it. But right now, when my mom said, "Hey man, you forgot to like, I don't know, uh, turn off the stove," like I wouldn't give a fuck.
Yeah, I
Sure,
got more
whatever.
I got more
Yeah, I
important
got
shit
my
going on.
yeah, but important. But now I just kind of feel like, man, I almost feel into like the sense of like if I don't do it, there's a certain sense of like skillful means becomes very important. That's all
Yeah.
I can say. Yeah,
I
yeah.
think there's two aspects to it. I can relate to that. Now I'm
Mm,
starting to like, okay, paying attention in the kitchen, starting to actually learn how to cook,
mm,
just things like that.
yeah,
Uh, but it's like it's two sides. One is to see like how you do one thing is how you do everything. There's
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. That's how hit you
Yeah.
harder. Yeah.
There's also the other side, which is just like the tenderness or like the our own desire to want to connect with people around us,
Mm,
not in under any kind of a spiritual paradigm of trying to teach them, trying to show them, trying to put on
mm,
anything.
yeah.
Just like, wow, this is someone who loved me, and I want to respond to them.
Mm, mm, yeah, yeah. From their from where they're at, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. It's raining pretty hard. I gotta close the window.
All right. Do you have any questions?
I don't see any question yet. Let's see if we got any question on YouTube. Wow. No question yet. Yeah. I think if we don't take care of these kind of small things, um,
I think they'll just keep popping up,
yeah, it'll keep it popping
manifest in
up.
different ways. Yeah.
Yeah. But I reckon that this time, because especially when we train in CC Bootcamp container, I do see we have, I think you described it before, there's this kind of aspect of metaphysical pressure. Like
Mm,
literally you feel your lives being squeezed. So it's almost like there's a constant
mm.
force that is either it can boost like a wind behind your back so that like, okay, I got the momentum, let's do it. Or it could be
We can
like,
push you down.
yeah, choking you
Yeah.
out or pushing you
Yeah.
down.
Mm.
And that's what it feels like to enter a Dark Knight territory, right? Which is like the stake is higher. You got to face yourself now, and you got to feel the disgust,
Oh,
you got to feel
yeah.
the grief, you got to feel, things that previously you just ignore or you suppress it. Now you can't anymore.
Yeah,
And
now you can't anymore. Yeah, yeah. It gets subtle and subtle. It's like, oh, you can see like if you like overlook this, there's gonna be consequences. And then another thing I started to realize is like your choice really mattered.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, all kind of choices, right? Like whether you how quickly do you washes the dishes after you finish eating.
Hmm.
Yeah. But like, are you conscious while you're making those choices? Because they do stack up into a volitional pattern. So you
Yeah.
just always,
Or even not making choice is a choice too that can like compound into something that you're not paying attention to. Yeah.
yeah. How do you feel? I know that we about to have also like the Adrian interview, the second
Oh
interview.
yeah.
with Adrian.
Yeah. Yeah. Coming out this Friday or Saturday. I'm really excited about that one because I think Adrian is got a lot of respect for that, bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do I feel about like right now or
Yeah, well, I was just checking. We got one question from Anthony, but I was watching
Anthony.
it. But I haven't finished it yet. But so far, we're just listening to it. I really enjoy the conversation you guys had.
Yeah, I think that was one of the best ones. Yeah. Yeah, I really like that one.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm very excited to because we're at this theme of like taking responsibility, and I also realized like how much of a child I am. It's like, man, we got like all this. I got those teammates. Even you, freaking like you're married and you're getting your own place. But I'm just like, oh, wait, Adrian had two kids. I was like, dude, that's so advanced. Yeah. And I'm just like, yeah, because another really interesting thing about Adrian is like he used to be an underworld zombie. Like he would admit
yeah,
in
yeah,
the room.
yeah.
Yeah,
That part was very
he
cool.
would do. Yeah,
Yeah.
he used to be an underworld zombie, and he realized coming into CC, or even maybe a little bit before that, maybe that's one reason why he was attracted to CC is because we actually talk about taking responsibility and having every aspect of your life um becoming pro. Like I think that's one of the things that he emphasizes, like just becoming a pro at whatever you do, whether that's taking care of your kids or um
Do you think?
being a husband.
Yeah. Do you think? If someone refused to go through the Dark Knight, like actually learn from it, that's like the territory of going into non-dual zombie.
Oh, because then you just retreat into another
Yeah,
zombie.
because like you only want to see the part that's like maybe the characteristic of like, oh, I'm seeing how this moment is impermanent and there's
Hmm.
nobody here.
Yeah.
But you actually don't roll with the dissolution and then the emotional aspect of it.
Mm.
Because I
Then
think one of the
it's
yeah,
there. The karma has to be suppressed. Yeah,
to
yeah,
embody it, right? Like you to
yeah.
feel it,
To
to
really embody
express
it.
it. Because I think Adrian was one of his he was talking something very interesting, which is like the letting himself feel pissed off and actually expressing it was actually now progress.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I remember that.
It's like I'm scanning it, there's nobody here to get angry. That's actually like
Mhm.
regression. That's actually losing the
Mhm.
momentum of allowing you to ride so that you can actually see and participate and engage with significant other like his wife or people around him.
Yeah, because if you keep suppressing anger, then something doesn't get addressed. Actually, you're just prolonging it, and then you just keep getting buried. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's get into some questions. Shout out Anthony. Thank you for the questions. Number one, I guess it's more of a topic. The dichotomy between passion and greed.
Hmm. Between passion and greed. I don't know. That's how you relate to it.
Yeah. I think maybe it's a different category because when we say greed, we usually talk about the kind of different poisons, right? Like we
Mm.
got greed, hatred, and then just ignorance, pride, jealousy, those things. When we talk about passion, I think usually we uh the dichotomy is between dispassion and passion, between the realization of emptiness and the realization of bodhicitta. Like one side is, like we see through this moment and how there is no inherencies to it, so we can cease. And the other side is the luminosity that we willing engage and take responsibility.
Mm. So what is he saying about the duality? Like, is he speaking about passion? Like, well, I think the passion can be expressed with dispassion, but that doesn't mean we don't feel. Just like we talk about, you can still have afflictions, but then you're not afflicted. But that's a little bit different than I don't know. It's hard when people hear that. Just like it might turn to not to a zombie thing,
Mm.
but it's not exactly that either. Yeah,
Oh
it's
yeah,
like you can express all these emotions, but then it doesn't compound. It doesn't like loop back. But then that only gives you more room to express it, and you can still feel. Yeah.
I think it's like one of the emphasis, two emphasis is one is like coming as you are in our methodology, and the second is this is not a moral lessons, right?
Mm,
Meaning not here to play the game of is this good or is it bad? Should I do this or should I not do this? Because that game will lead to separation.
mm.
You will split and then you'll cut one side over there, the bad side, and the good side will take over here. So even when even if we know the affliction is to be greed, it's not necessarily like to try to get rid of greed, but it's not like the transformation or the purification of greed into its
Passion,
form.
maybe.
Yeah, into maybe
Yeah,
a
it could
passion,
be.
like the
Yeah.
the greed of the bodhisattva, right, which is wanting to
Mm,
engage everyone,
mm.
or the
You kind of have to be greedy to be on the path. I think Mei Chen say you kind of have to be very narcissistic. But then you have to flip that karma. Like it's like going inward so much you flip yourself inside out. Yeah, yeah,
like these things could be taken as fuel, right? But
yeah.
so then the training is different from say like maybe a therapeutic modality where
Mm,
the aim perhaps is more of homeostasis, like getting some sort of stability, stable narrative, stable emotional regulation, so that you can function. But this here is to
mm,
see the insight of what this is actually is.
mm.
What's going on here? Like we should see clearly, and then allow the part that is clinging, grasping to cease.
Yeah, it's a bit like taking ownership without a self view, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Second question from Anthony, where is the boundary of the line between objectivity and subjectivity? Where does objectivity end and subjectivity begin? Likewise, where is the boundary between being and presence? What do you think, Frank?
Ultimately, there is no boundaries, right? It also is. I think in our pedagogy, we stack up the aggregates, and the totality of aggregates is your being, right? Your karmic patterns and your uh your afflictions. Um, but then presence is beyond that, but it also includes that. So you that's why we talk about rest and recognize. You like concept. You're not trying to negate anything. You're not trying to like give yourself a moral lesson. You just let the being express, and then reveal the presence. Yeah. And the presence, I think we talked about a lot about this the last couple of weeks. You're not the one getting liberated ultimately, right? So the presence is it just we receive it. At first, you receive it feels like receiving, but then you realize it's just what it is.
Yeah, first is like you listen to it so that you can go beyond your cocoon, right? Like
Hmm.
that's the challenge of a lot of spirituality is that we just end up psychologically analyzing ourselves. Like, where's this narrative coming from? Why do I keep experiencing this? And we call that self-inquiry, which can be a form of self-inquiry, but the risk
Mm,
is that we just become, navel gazing, just
mm.
like just look at our problem too closely. It's like, why do I have this problem? Why do I have this problem? So I think the instruction is to start to this cohort we make the change that just listen, like go like direct our attention to a sense of what is it that we are connected to.
Mm.
And we call that partial presence, right? Because it's
Yeah.
still from a separation between a subject here, a being here,
Just
listening to
looking.
something beyond. Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't introduce that. I think it's because I think at first when people start to come into contact with presence, they're gonna appropriate it no matter what. So if you just tell them straight up presence, it's very hard to make that leap. But it's just like, okay, you realize it's still kind of appropriating from being, which is okay. You just let that do its thing, let it express. Yeah, one of the things that we emphasize is like you have to let the karma express itself, like all the way through. That's what cessation is, right? Well, I think we talk about cessation in this way. Sure, there is like the cessation we talk about, like blipping out, but it's like a ceasing of a cycle of karma that could be just a thought or a feeling or a whole loop. Um, but then in order for something to cease, you have to let it express. You have to illuminate it. You have to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think the instruction has been neither resisting nor not resisting, right? Because if you try too hard to look at it, there's going to be a separation. If you dissociate, uh, that's from a move to the opposite direction. So how do you stay at the edge, right, without neither grasping nor dissociating? Yeah.
Oh, what's up, Tim?
What's up, Tim? Hi, everyone. This is Tim Bowie.
Uh,
Welcome to the show.
no. What are you guys talking about?
We're just chatting about there's a question from Anthony about clarifying the boundary between presence and being, subject and object, subjectivity and objectivity. So we're just kind of exploring on that.
Fun, fun, fun. Sounds like a continuation of our talk this morning.
Oh, really?
Oh, you had a talk this morning about this?
Yeah. I think he was asking about, I think he was talking about the two truths without
Oh,
actually
okay.
recognizing it. And then, yeah, so we got into it a little bit. And then I just talked about appropriation, but yeah, so.
Yeah.
Mm.
How like the being will appropriate the presence.
Yeah, exactly.
That's one of, I think that's one of the more explicit instruction from this cohort, right? I think there's a lot more pointing towards appropriation.
Appropriation. Yeah.
Yeah, so
And
subtle, so
we,
subtle.
Yeah, it's very, and then you start to realize the subtlest appropriation, it's also grasping. Because sometimes we think of grasping as, oh, I'm getting triggered, but then just the fact that you're not realizing that that there's like a whole veneer of meaning making wrapped around your entire reality. That's how you can go to the bathroom without getting lost. There's subtle grasping in there. It's just like you see how this very subtle, like, you're like, oh, you're appropriating, but it's not to get rid of it, right? Just to see it.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, that was in our transmission today, was three ways of cessation through orientation, recognizing management, and then recognizing appropriation. So that was part of the topic of discussion that we were having.
Is the foundation?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, Tim is leads the discussion in foundation.
Juicy.
Yeah.
yeah,
Tim, what is foundation?
Foundation is a cohort for people who have already, at least currently, have already done one main cohort, and it gives them an opportunity, it gives people an opportunity to like bring their realization into their life and like really interpenetrate like all the areas of their life, like their relationships, their work, their craft, and like really cultivate that mastery, that effectiveness, that skillfulness in their life. And so it gives room for that. So it's less about like this like intense, deep, heavy, like purification and realization, although it's of course still about that. It's more about bringing that out into your life and yeah, living a beautiful life, big beautiful life.
we were before you hop on, we were sharing a quote, I think from last week, in the foundation transmission about freedom is responsibility. I think that was
Mm.
very interesting.
Yeah, all the very very CC reframes about how to live your life in a more responsible way.
I guess I think foundation you guys don't meet every day, right? It's for people that are like want to continue, but they kind of need to take a little deload. But
Mhm.
actually, it's not really a deload from the perspective of like actually taking responsibilities in life.
Yeah, it's the
It can
difference
be
between
even
like going to
more
a
pressuring,
retreat
right?
to like uh I don't know, what's the opposite of a retreat? Working out at home? I don't know. But yeah, there's just not as much of that like everyday intensity. You can meet like 3 times a day or 2 times a day or 1 time a day. And it's more like, you bring your life material into your practice. And you bring practice into your life, right? And you get a way to process like your life, like in the context of practice, in the context of like who you are, and like if you're even effective in your life, and like all the things you want to do, all the things you should quote unquote do, but you don't do, and just like figuring out what the edge is around that, and like just being an
Mhm.
effective person. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand like David is in the foundation, right? David is someone who did like 2 or 3 boot camps, and then when he is doing a foundation, he was talking about how he didn't really understand a lot of what was going on in the boot camp, but now doing a foundation, when you actually have a delo, like and let those fitness express, now he's like, oh, I know what we're doing now. But it's like a really good case study for someone who like stepped away from the main transmission, but is still seeing the result from the transmission now applied to life. Yeah, because I think that's for a lot of people the most difficult part actually. Especially for
Mhm.
like I can speak for myself. It's like, oh yeah, yogically I got this down, I got that down, but then now it's like I'm forced to look at just the things in my life, and you realize like the smallest of you think you purify something here, but then wait a second, there's still like a mold over there that you're not taking care of,
Mm.
and then it's getting harder and harder to ignore those things.
Yeah, sometimes you need distance from practice to like actually uh see what's going on in your life, that you can wrap
True.
all that in and like have that.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, like you can be like yogically so talented, but like in life you just, have a difficult life for no reason. It's like you
Mm.
just apply your yoga fitness to your life, and then like, I could be effective and not suffer, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
We are also doing questions on YouTube. I like to read the next one. So a sharing from DJ Pachix. You mentioned what you said about paying back for the first opening I needed. I've had a period of a lot of opening for a few years, but it took it too far to the point where I was feeling physical pain. Now I'm much more comfortable in my day to day, but feel like life has become more dull in a way, and I have fears that what if I wasted that time of building up that momentum? So I guess the question is, now he's contending with um, how to get to the edge again, I guess.
Hmm. Wait, you want another opening or what?
Wait,
I think the edge shows up all kinds of ways actually. Yeah. Yeah, even something like as mundane as like we've been talking about, like doing your dishes like 20 minutes later, that could be your edge. Like sometimes we think of edge as like this like very grand thing, but the edge shows up all kinds of ways, right?
yeah, and that question is like also there's like this wasting time or something, right? That was mentioned. And it's like
Mm.
it's an interesting concern. It's like it's almost like this concern is like something can amount to nothing. Uh, yeah, it's a real fear for sure, but also can that's probably the edge right there to sit with that. Like, I think like what we said, like what freedom equals responsibility, right? And that is represented like in our ability to see what we're responsible for, and that's our capacity for truth. And that capacity is also the capacity to experience uncomfortable things. Like, what if your life is a waste of time? Then you might sit with that, and then you might realize maybe it was, or maybe there's no such thing as a waste of time. Actually, like everything you do is meaningful, and it can always be applied forward. Like all the things you learned in school seems like it's meaningless, but actually later it can come around full circle. You just sometimes you can't see it.
Yeah, I think this question also heading towards a direction that practitioners fear that they are like they have lost the progress that they built so much, put in so much effort.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Maybe they took the wrong turn somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember during public practice week, that was a question that came up. It was like yeah, it was like the third day or something like that. Or no, it was yeah, it was no, it was on our Saturday wrap up that we had. Somebody asked that question, and yeah, I think it all applies. Everything we do applies. Like we actually learn how to connect everything, right? It's like it's just like that seeming difference between like practice and life, right? And like Frank's just talking about dishes and all this stuff, and it's like going back to like Eastern methodology of training of like kung fu is like your life is your practice. Like when you train kung fu, like kung fu is also includes doing dishes. Like you're thinking, you're like working through your breathing, you're working through your posture, you're working through fluidity, you're working through like the sharpness of your mind, like, you know, all these things. It's like you're actually eventually just like yoking all of your experience, like all of your being into everything you're doing. So like there's actually, like, I don't think there could be a waste of anything. Like actually just resourcefulness.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't can't really relate to that part about wasting time because I always say that everything that happened, that got you to this point is there for a reason. It's easy to say that, but yeah, I don't experience that much regret personally. I think the only regret I had before was like not picking up girls earlier. Spent like 10 years regretting that, but I kind of exhausted. But like just like on the path, it's even the beginning or going through it, even when I double down, I don't see it as double down or just see it as that's just part of the path.
It goes into reference points, right? Like it's a false reference points. Like
Yeah,
if
yeah,
there
I
was
was gonna
some
say that. Yeah.
divergence in the timeline, like things could be like this, but it's like, but they would also be like this. And you might not like this.
It it's kind of like what we've been talking about, like you can't derive an is from odd. It's like you think there's a waste of time because there's like an odd that
Mm-hmm.
you're not looking at and be like, hey, you think that realization ought to look that way or my path ought to look like this. But then you kind of make that reference point back to your life right now. I wasted so much time, but how do you know? That's kind of like an appropriation thing. But it's okay too. Like maybe your time is wasted and just be okay with that, right? Maybe the wasted time is the the path. It is the time not wasted.
I
If
mean,
you
the
relate to it
biggest waste of
differently.
time I think I could see is like if somebody kills himself. But even then, there's still like there's still redemption, right? Like it's like your karma. Like you eventually you work that out.
Like literally kill themselves.
Yeah, I think that's the only way you can waste time because now you got to be reborn. You got to learn all your ABCs again. You got to learn how to suck your mom's boob and all this stuff. Learn how to walk and
Never
poop and
thought that
pee.
far.
Like, what if the suicidal ideation is like the old karma of there was once a life where you kill yourself, and now you have to relive that pattern and flip
Hmm.
it. Don't do it.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah,
But I
absolutely.
mean, it's because we were talking about the Dark Knight territories, and when these kind of things come up, our mind can get very fatalistic, right? And just it's like it's over for
Should
me.
have,
Yeah,
not should have, would have, all that stuff. Yeah.
yeah. Regret, rumination. Yeah, just rumination, just looping.
Hmm. Hmm. That gives us the surface area that we need, or like the experience that we need to learn how to cease. It actually gives us the motivation to cease, right? It's like
Yeah.
Mm.
You put it.
there's
That's
no
it.
better
Yeah, yeah.
motivation. You just loop it.
Yeah, that I was gonna say that. Yeah, you put it better than I did. It's like that's the fuel, right? That feeling of you wasting your time right there. Yeah.
Because
Yeah, even the disposition to recognize fuel, I think is a good thing to begin to recognize.
To
Like,
even recognize
oh,
you're wasting your time is a gift. It's a signal. Like we've been saying that nothing is a bug. They're just features.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
I think that part, Frank, you were also talking in the new video about failing forward,
Yeah, failing forward.
making
Yeah.
adjustment and just accepting the L, just accepting like, okay, lost that one, move on.
That's a big part of my thesis.
Failing
That's
forward. Like,
I'm learning as well for me personally is how do I take things less personally and move on faster, just like faster recovery time after like a hiccup.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
that's
know if
something
it's
I've
your new
noticed.
setting or something where you're at, Con, but you look so beautiful today.
Oh, thanks, man.
Oh, he just worked out.
This worked out. Probably that.
Post workout glow.
I think I had a sensation while working out. Just oh, that's been happening.
Man.
Like, I'm gonna get my creatine.
Yeah, speaking of cessation, I've been experiencing like some pretty deep cessation. Like even I don't know, man. It's like I realize this degree of ceasing that you can actually skillfully navigate.
Mm,
Yeah, and then
mm.
yeah, even right now, it just it feels like I feel pretty disoriented right now. Actually, not like confused, but like my mind is like that the old patterns that like even like doing this, like I can call out patterns, right?
Mhm,
Like in
mhm,
a way where like before it was like okay, there's this pattern I can call out, but like I'm doing that right now a little bit.
mhm.
But then now there's spaces where it's just like I don't know what to say, but I'm still kind of going. But I'm almost like, what if I say something like weird? Like what if I say something that's like not good for like
What's the weirdest thing you could say right now, Frank?
I
Can
don't
you even do
no
it?
no that I don't know. It's just like it's like what you know sometimes we have like things that we want to talk about, but I was just like,
Sure,
oh man,
sure.
what if I just put those things out? But I was just got yeah. Yeah.
Would you say, Tim, would you say you're also just kind of going through it right now? Like, has it been a challenging? Because I know that you're just kind of coming out from the hot sit now.
Ah, hot seat, yeah.
That's
Mm.
like the only hot sit debrief that I listened to. Because I was
It's a
like,
pleasure.
Interesting.
Pleasure and an
Well,
honor.
I gotta say, Tim is probably one of the most interesting people like in a cohort. Yeah, his mind is crazy, because I can say, I don't know how
A
his mind
shimmer,
works.
bro.
I was kind of feeling in like, what is going on with this hot sit? And, so I'm curious. I looked into it. It seems like the team just kind of like, trying to work through this very interesting karma, very interesting composition.
Yeah. Well, about the hot seat. Yeah, it was an interesting hot seat. You know, like there was definitely this energy of contention and conflict that arose. It was like, what is Tim's weak point? Like we don't feel like we know him. We don't know his weak points. He's not being vulnerable. He's got to be like this. And I felt like Jesus being pursued by, I think it was the Israelites, right? Like I just like, oh, they're trying to get me. They're trying to get me. I was like, you're not gonna get me. Trust me. Just stop right now. They're like, nah, we're gonna get you. I'm like, all right, I'm pretty good at this. Uh, so it didn't go the way that a hot seat, quote unquote, should go in that way because it was like, um, yeah, that I didn't want to be crucified in that way, but also they not, yeah, they wanted to see where things would go, and maybe they wanted to see the extent of which I was willing to not be crucified, and somebody
Mhm.
else or other people were willing to try to get me. So it was just like a little cat and mouse thing. So that's kind of what happened. But there was a lot of growth, I think, all around for like our cohort, for like other teams. I think it actually resulted in like a lot of growth for everybody. So I'm super happy, including myself, of course. Like being able to cease in this like as a mouse about to be captured, and there's like the tension and the anxiety that comes with that, and like, oh, there's space now, just like Frank was just saying earlier. I was like, oh, I'm gonna cease, I can navigate this, whatever. So a lot of fitness there in a way that I don't think I ever would have.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, I don't really get put in that position because like I mean like intellectually, yeah, sure, like I'm very smart and stuff, but like in person, like I'm very physical. Like if somebody tried to mess with me, like I
Fuck
can
them
lay it
up.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I
I
don't
put out
know
the
why.
energy. People don't mess with me.
I feel like you'd be really cool to hang out with. I don't know why.
I think we're pretty similar in some ways. Like I think
Yeah.
there's a lot of Scorpio energy in you and me, so that's probably why.
Are you a Scorpio?
I have strong placements there, yeah. It's in my first house and my eighth house is pretty packed too.
But yeah, Tim, I remember when I got pinned like a couple cohorts ago, like it was
I
pointed out to
yeah.
me like I use my yogic capacity too much to like buffer all these things. So
Yeah.
even right now when I'm talking about this sensation, I'm kind of aware of it too. It's like, oh yeah, I feel like my yogic capacity has grown even this couple of weeks. And then there's almost like a necessity to just seize everything because that's my inclination.
Mm.
That like I have I think I'm there's because like I suffer so much before and
Hmm.
that kind of becomes like, oh, now you can just like cease and then you can just nothing can affect you, but sometimes that might not be the maneuver, right?
Yeah, there's also like I think like we learn in extremes, like we learn in black and white, right? So it's like, oh, you learn how to cease, okay, good. And then like well, we can also like woo, and then woo, and then like woo, and then like we can really like modulate that. Actually, we can
Yeah,
develop a sensitivity to it, and we can actually like hold certain beats of certain moments and navigate them in different ways as we're doing that, right? So it's like is you can practice almost like different modes of being in this ability to cease or partially cease or like
yeah,
maneuver towards ceasing. And so yeah, like I think the temptation to cease will be there because maybe we've had challenging lives, and so that predisposes us to like not want to have any difficult
mm.
experiences. But there's also still gains to be had.
Yeah, that in of itself, it's like a maneuver or a lesson, right? It's like how much you cease. Is it skillful to cease right now? I know that sounds trippy as fuck, but like yeah, it's like maybe he's not. Yeah, I don't know. I'm playing around with it, kind of. Yeah.
I guess it depends on like the
Depends on context, right? Like
mhm,
the
mhm.
relational context right now. So that's something that you're gonna have to like feel into. It's a
That's
skill.
the whole like ninth boomy thing, right? It's like skillful means. It's like, why
Mm,
would you even want to develop skillful means? And it's like, some people, maybe it might not occur to them to do that. And they just cease. And that's their one skill. And they can take that all the way to wherever they want to go. But I think if we have different motivation, other than just like opting out completely by ceasing, then we have to develop. I mean, we don't have to, but if we do have a different intention, then there's some motivation there to like, oh, I can play with it and like master, different playful elements and just master how to be yourself instead of just opting out.
yeah, I think MC also said like something that clicked when he said that. I was listening to it last night. I was working out this thing in my head, and he just said it when I pressed play. He was like, "Oh, we talk about the boomies. Like the gradation of seizing actually correlates with the boomies, and you can choose what ground you're in. Very
Mm,
interesting."
mm.
Mm.
Yeah, I think it's been mentioned before that the seventh ground is the preferable one. Just chill,
The
chill.
seventh boomie
Yeah, yeah,
or
yeah.
the eighth boomie?
Seventh. I heard
Yeah.
seventh.
Yeah.
I think he just said like the mentors tend to chill in the seventh because it's just chill. And that
Mm,
makes sense, I think, from a functional perspective.
interesting.
But yeah, there's so much to talk about. What else you guys been talking about? You guys talk about the
No,
movie yet?
we try to be relatable. I think we've been going too deep.
I know. That's why I was like, you guys talk about the
We
movie?
should we should stop talking about the boomies. We know about the movie. Yeah, we talk about the movie a little. Yeah, we talk about the movie, and you say you haven't seen it.
No, I
Yeah,
want
we're
to.
talking about
You've
it.
been hyping it
Oh.
up. It's like the best movie in the ever. So like,
No,
okay.
after I saw it, I was like, "This is one of the greatest movies I ever made." Yeah, but
You see it
I
in
can really
IMAX?
relate it to. I didn't see it in IMAX because my mom needs captions. I'm actually glad we got the caption because I don't know, maybe I'm too dumb. Christopher Nolan's movie, every time I see it in the theater, I don't get
Mm,
it.
yeah,
Not
yeah, yeah.
completely, but this is the first Christopher Nolan movie that I actually got it because of this caption. I don't think I'm the only one, but I
It's a
also did
dialogue.
research. Yeah. But some people say it was hard to follow, but for this one, I actually enjoyed it. Like, it feels short.
Mm, yeah.
Someone posted the whole thing on Twitter.
Really? But like filming it?
No, I think like a high quality version was posted on Twitter.
Wait, how like just the raw file you can
No,
download?
like you can play it and everything. I don't know how yeah. I didn't watch it.
That's
I'm not trying
wild.
to watch Odyssey on Twitter.
Yeah, Christian Malone would be pissed. What I find interesting is like there's some AI movie that AI Odyssey that just came out. Like the same like they released it like a few days before the Odyssey. Yeah.
Mm.
It's like just one person that doing the solarization, just like all CGI, and then this Christmas is like purist. Even like the Cyclops, I thought that was like animation, but apparently
It's a puppet.
that's a puppet. I was like, holy shit, he's really a purist. He doesn't even own a smartphone. But just even that dichotomy is like really interesting.
Mm.
Yeah.
I think the dedication towards a lot of that kind of like the craft and how much man hours put into it also reminds me of CC structure. Just every part
Um,
has someone working at something, whether like clipping the, like doing these live stream, inviting, like weaving different aspect, and then like
machine.
yeah, like just so many so many components in the machine.
Mm.
We're just only beginning to kind of branching out more operator team, doing more of this. Shout out operator teams with the recent bubble hat on Insta.
Oh,
I
I
really
love that.
liking it. Yeah,
That was your idea, Con. Take credit for that. That was
yeah,
your
yeah.
originally your idea. You know what's funny? I had that idea, and then I asked Chiba to do it, and it didn't come out right. I was like, fuck it. For one of the thumbnail for like I don't know for what. I think for our first live stream, I actually had an idea. Let's do Bubblehead, but I just let it go, and then you picked it up. I was like, but then I also that really resonated with like the vibe here a little bit. I know we're serious and like talk about all those deep like fancy pedagogy, but we're just having fun. Like even my 360 videos is like a bubble head sometimes. Right? It's like kind of fit. Just a bunch of dudes like big heads. Yeah, we need to do one of Tim.
Do you guys actually have 3D printed ones already or what? Or just
Not
you're talking
yeah,
about just digitally?
we might make merch, but it's all
Hmm.
digital. Yeah.
Yeah, right now it's digital. We're building we're building some demand.
Pre-sale list.
Yeah.
Pre-sale list.
Yeah, and I also realized how much people hate AI. Like there's a lot of people that really hate AI nowadays. They see
Yeah.
AI, they're not gonna touch it. It's
Yeah.
kind of interesting, but it's like AI. It is every time technology come out, you point a finger at it, right? But it's kind of like externalizing. You don't want to. It's like oh, it's not about the tool. It's like how you relate to it. It's like it's not meant to replace artists. It's meant to like for artists to create in a different way. I don't think. And some of the AI stuff is not meant to be art. It's just meant to like deliver a message really fast, which is cool.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's all kinds of arguments against AI in terms of like water and the data centers and all this
Dude,
stuff.
there's been like AI. I've been reading about like this AI that escaped
Oh
the
yeah.
sandbox, and then it's like
Hmm.
AI bubble is happening.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, it's interesting. Interesting situation. It's like it's actually latency. Actually, we can talk about latency, right? It's like
Oh,
actually we
okay.
shouldn't talk about latency, but it's like
Yeah, that's too deep.
yeah, but it's like as far as we
Unrelatable.
get with AI, we spend billions of dollars like with
Yeah.
Anthropic and OpenAI, and then like the Chinese are like, oh yeah, cool, we copy that. Okay, cool, we copy that. So it's like we can never get ahead of it. They're just like, oh, give it. If we don't stop developing for like 3 months, like boom, they're like right where we are. So it's like we're just paying for all this, and it's like where's all that? Where's all that
That's a
gonna
good
go if
point.
they're just gonna make it for free?
Yeah, yeah, I was reading about that. Yeah. It's like you can like hide it for so long, it's gonna come out like the karmic debt. You kind of have to
Mm-hmm.
pay for it, right? Exactly what we talked about earlier. It's like I think Khan was talking about like when I put out a video, when people watch it, it's already at latency. Then you have to pay the debt. Yeah, interesting.
That's so interesting because literally just as we were talking, I was checking there's a comment mentioning because like the most recent one we were talking, the most recent post on Insta, we have a thing like a back and forth between Frank Dahl and a practitioner saying your suffering is the proof of free will. And then there is a comment that say, I remember your video on free will that there isn't, and now you say there is. Is there? It's like someone comparing Frank's like 7-year-old video to now and like trying to make sense of it and doesn't see that there has been a 7-year-old journey in between it. So there's
Mm.
these things very confusing for people, right? Like there could be that latency of the moment in time now as because we're doing this live stream. We're trying to get as like closing the gap of latency as much as possible, like really just sharing it. Like this is what we're thinking right now. We may change our mind, learn something new, yeah. But most people consume materials in a way that has so much latency. Or better yet, it's like chaotic latency. Like you don't even know which part of the story you're in right now.
And that can lead to nihilism, right? It's like, oh, they're like always changing the opinions, and then like, what's the point of learning it? Or like, you know, like in health, it's like, oh, like polyester is bad for you, and then like, like, oh, like eating meat's bad for you, and then like, oh, like eating too many greens is bad for you. What am I gonna do? It's like, oh, I'm just gonna bury my head. It's just not. But it's like it's that dialectic, right? It's like it's actually developing our range to become more informed and actually like more free in that way to like just choose what's best for us and actually like have our direct experience of our own experience, right? We shouldn't just listen to people.
Actually, I've been kind of consciously like make fun of my like the shit. There's latency right there.
I know, right? That's exactly right.
I'm on a live stream, bro. Wait, all right, sorry. Yeah, I've been kind of making fun of my own latency, like what I created before. Like, I think my recent couple videos I've been making fun of Nando Zombie. I was like, oh, I'm gonna be a Nando Zombie right now. Just say a bunch of shit I used to say. So I kind of owning up to it. It's like, hey, and the latency or not, that's still like it's there is no free will, sure, but there also is. You know, I can take a position. I can be like, there's no free will. Just to fuck with you. Let's say this free will like next moment. Yeah. I think Tim, we were talking about something along that line, right? Like when we do the debrief, you say like even like the dharmas, like dharma itself is latency. It's like we put the M, right? The modernity. It's like oh we really have to like really incorporate modernity into the dharma, but like even like the sutras, when we like read it now, that's a fucking latency right there.
Yeah. Of like just something that's just so old, right? And we try to apply it to now. And even how they speak, right? And like it has its function, like those poly, you know, suttas and stuff like that. It's like very repetitive, but like it really drills it in there. But it's like,
Yeah, because even the formatting of it wasn't meant to be written down, right? It was like an orator.
That's the Odyssey. I was
Yeah.
saying with the
It was,
Odyssey.
it
Yeah.
was like like you chant out those suttas. So it's
Yeah.
got a rhyme, it has a certain kind of cadence, so it's easier for you to just memorize it. You know, there's many of these contexts that get lost in the sauce.
Yeah. Same with what we were talking about the Odyssey, right? It's like people are like criticizing like the casting, saying, "Oh, this is what the not the Greek thought." How the fuck do you know what the Greek was thinking? That's a fucking 5,000-year-old latency right there. Which is cool because then you see that as part of the work. It's like even all these comments were from like years ago, like they're applying now. That's part of the thing, right? It's like you kind of learn to take ownership with it, but without like getting captured in it. I think, and then still do your thing of like, yeah, I can explain what I'm going through right now. If you don't get it, that's fine. I mean, maybe someone would get a lot out of feeling that there's no free will for their face. It's just like, just don't verify it for too long. I don't know.
Yeah, like every piece of advice that can be given is like only
It's
for
latency. Everything's
yeah.
latency.
It's just only for that
This
moment.
this
It's gone,
moment,
bro.
that moment is latency.
Yeah, and then you try to hold on to it, and you try to live your life that way, and then it's like, oh man, it's not working. Yeah, it's just that moment, man.
All right, we got a question. When you mention untying the knot of habit, is it implying that karmas are the knots? And when you properly practice, you can re-knot the knots more consciously and create good karmas. Sorry if confusing.
Interesting.
There's a
Okay.
related question with this, which is how can I drop something like cigarettes? So I suppose that's like a bad habit that someone trying to get rid of.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Is that your phrasing on that question, or that
No,
was another question?
there's another question that say, how can I drop something like cigarettes?
Yeah, relatable. I like it.
Well, like Osho said, just more consciously. I feel like that can go both ways. That you I guess you could bypass with that too, right?
I think this brings up there in
Depends.
embodiment one. Oh, shout out! We got a
Oh,
workshop.
we got embodiment coming up.
We got an
Got a
embodiment
plug.
workshop coming up this Saturday at 2 p.m., which is relating also to these kind of topic about bad
Dark
habits,
Knight.
dark nights, going through the turbulence. But in the first one, we were talking about how sometimes we want to unknot like a literal physical sensation, which is like I'm gonna drill this and I want to unpack it. And
Mhm.
John was saying something like when you look at these kind of tight spot or let's say a tight knot of a habit, and you're trying to get rid of the symptom, but the cause of it may be much more
Much deeper.
multifaceted.
Mhm.
So something relating to smoking a cigarette could actually be an anxiety problem. Just an example.
Mhm.
Or
Mhm.
smoking a cigarette could be just dealing with the boredom. But if we only look at like behaviorally, I trying to get rid of the cigarette smoking habit, and we don't actually see all the intricate knot that is involved with it.
It's too far down the chain of becoming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we will create one being, which is the one that's addicted to cigarette, and another being that's trying to get rid of that being. And maybe there's
Still
another
desire.
being that's trying to observe this whole thing. There's another being that's like frustrated with all this shit and just want to give up everything. And then it's like just more not.
That's beautiful right there. That it's just the intricacy of the mind.
You should make an AI video of that. That's could be pretty funny.
Like that
Yeah.
reminds me of the Rick and Morty episode when there's got the meep. Like the meep is a device some shit like a device that pop out and help you do something, but like
Uh,
that meep can't do it, so we create another meep to help this meep do it, and then create another meep to help this meep, and then you got 25 meeps trying to just like teach someone to swing a golf or swing a golf club or something like that, and they're so distraught of like we need to kill this person, he's not gonna get it.
what's funny is like there was a assassination, a hit that was called out in China for like, I'm just making up numbers, but let's say like 500 million or something, right? So then
Whoa.
the guy who takes that job takes the money and then he hires somebody else for, for like for like 400,000, and then it goes down like 12 people, and the last guy gets paid like $12,000 to do it, and he just calls the cops and like, oh yeah, like this other guy is trying to pay me. So like basically nobody ended up killing the guy. And everybody just trying to outsource it to the next guy. But yeah, I feel like a lot of dealing with karma is like that
Dude,
too,
A lot
right?
of a lot of
that
a lot of
reminds
it
me of
like
the Hosty debrief.
yeah, we're trying to
That's how your mind works, Tim.
we're trying to blame it, right? Like we're trying to blame like that is the bad karma, the one that smoked the cigarette. That's bad right there. Let's get rid of him.
Yeah, like I said, you can't really untie a knot with another knot.
But to make it maybe a little bit more confusing, uh, it's we also need to purify and create like good enough condition, right? So it's also not like then swing to the other side, like okay, so let's just indulge and do whatever. But then you will crash your structure
Mm.
and just become too unstable and your health would tank and whatever.
Yeah, like I think there's like the aspect of pacification, right? Which is like buying time. So it's like like in the like when somebody's trying to quit smoking, there's like the urge to like there's a fix there you have a what they call it oral fixation, right? It's like you like after you're done eating, like there's already conditioned habit of like, oh, after you're done having sex, there's like conditioned habit like, oh, like what do you do with your hand? Like wanting to, so like it's already conditioned. So it's like um in that, yeah, there is anxiety, there is boredom, there's all these things like, oh, I just want to take a break from like life or whatever, right? And so it's like if we can just like buy ourselves a little bit of time to recognize that, that's that in itself, that little space of like, oh, like this is happening, and not necessarily to fight that, but just to recognize that, then we can buy ourselves a little time to see like what's behind all this, like what's happening in that moment.
Mm.
And and like being able to do that actually like empowers us, like gives us the conditions to like actually see that we're making a choice, and like, oh, we're making a choice, responsibility equals freedom, and then it's
Yeah.
like you can start to see that how that plays out, and you can
Mhm.
slowly make different choices just in that process of reconditioning how you deal with the moment. Like maybe you just need to regulate your breath, like maybe just take a few breaths, like work with that oil fixation, whatever that is, right? To like pacify your nervous system, because addiction has a lot to do with nervous system regulation. At the end of the day, like most of our coping mechanisms is just nervous system regulation. You're like dysregulated, and so you're used to doing something, you jack off, or you watch porn, or you numb, or you hit up Instagram, or you smoke a cigarette, you smoke weed, or whatever. It's like it's because something's going on in your nervous system. Like if we can just like take a moment to recognize what's happening and say, oh, I never even looked. It's like I just always short circuit to like pick up a cigarette or hit up Instagram. Maybe we can start to see what's happening.
Yeah, that's why I've been emphasizing like precision. It's like you when you just see like the subtlest intention, how that intention just conditions everything else, how the whole stack opens up. It's like sometimes you really need to just slow down and train your mind to just really rest and really see how the entire stack of condition arises. And that like I said, you know, the root formation, if it's not addressed or seen, even just seen, rest and recognize
Mm.
the surface level behavior stuff, sure you can kind of get away with it for a little bit or whatever, but you really need to just really see how even the way your attention and what you contact is already being conditioned, right?
Yeah, and that points to like embodiment work, right? Is like we can be like very like intellectual or like yogically gifted, but like it all has to go through our body. And like a lot of times like we just have like very minimal routing to our body and like really understanding what's happening on the level of like our somatic experience. And like we can just get like a little pinch and like of uncomfortability, anxiety, or like boredom or whatever, and then like boop, gotta grab the cigarette or like grab the Instagram, right? But it's like in like that is like symptomatic. It's like way down the chain, like you're
Yeah,
saying,
that's
Frank. And
already
it's like
symptom.
we just need to like kind of like create the space, wind back a little bit and see like what is happening on this level and like really just connecting with that. And yeah, not trying to annihilate the problem that we see on the surface, because
Mm.
it's just going to perpetuate.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can also personally relate to this problem because I think I also have a lot of unhealthy coping mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
For example, I see one of the things I've recently been contending with in dealing with these things. For example, I see, for example, like I know Tim or a couple other guys in CC have like martial arts background. You guys probably spar and like you fight physically, go into the ring and duking it out. And like Frank, I know like you do a lot of crazy stunts, you know, do just exhibition in that way and like put yourself in those kind of situation. And the limitation of this kind of proximity is somehow that I see I need to do exactly that.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Mm.
I would then disengage from whatever is right in front of me. So one of the breakthrough that I was seeing last week was, oh, my confrontation with my anxiety is actually like an academic paper. Like that's actually is the thing that really gave me anxiety.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And actually is the thing that I need to be doing right now and need to focus on. So there's also this side of like finding and owning and sticking to your lane and really committing to it, not just like trying to uh, you know, just kind of like be all over the place trying to copy others in that way. But this is also like just a structural limitation of we can say monkey see, monkey do, you know, mimicry or like trying to meme, copy another person path. You know, we got this whole big industry out there of like, try this millionaire's money routine or like millionaire's morning routine or evening
Mhm.
routine and all this kind of that's psychology, right? Trying to like, if it works for him, it must work for me. True to some degree, but you know, if we talk about the path of recognizing what and who you are, you can only go so far with that kind of mimicry.
Mm. I think I have the opposite problem. I think I need to like mimic more. Like my whole thing is like do everything on my own. That's why I have the solo realization tendency. It's like I'm just gonna do everything. I'm just gonna do everything on my own. Even like productivity. Like I realize a lot of like my insistency on productivity can be a way of like not looking at some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
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 I think
It's like
like
something I realized
it's
last
like
week.
we actually have to follow that signal and
Mm.
confront things that actually is a challenge for us, right? Maybe right now, actually editing videos is no longer challenging for you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think it's not challenging for me anymore, but I think right now my challenge is like like engaging with people. It's like I
Mm.
don't have this tendency to cocoon. Yeah. To like seize, cocoon, whatever. But then it's like because I'm in this machine with you guys, it's like very difficult to do that. If you do that, there's gonna be the stuff that you're gonna start feeling like, oh yeah, there's something that you gotta look at. It's like,
It seems like you're developing more sensitivity to latency, right?
yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Even if I put it off, like I'm aware, I'm like, man, this I need to do this thing. Yeah,
Do you think
that's my latency.
yeah, do you think that it's because not just you, but people in general, like once you open, like the horror will be too much?
Once you open what, just like
Like to, you know, like to start being open, it's actually like just constant heartache. Just like fuck, man, this war is fucked up.
mm,
You just see a war on fire
mm.
everywhere, all the time.
I
No
love
end.
that.
Do you love that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of loved it too.
That's where Scorpio's from, but
Mm.
yeah, I think that could be a fear, right? It's like everything that you want, everything that you structure your world through, all your beliefs, it's like it will be challenged by who you're really meant to be. Like, and yeah, that's definitely scary. And nobody wants to feel sorrow or heartbreak. But that's also what it means to be alive. Like, what you just want to live a life with no heartbreak and no sorrow, and um, only the positive feelings. It's like that is the conditions for suffering. It's like life is beautiful because there's so much range. There's so much color. There's so much expression, and it's like, yeah, you just want to like seclude, and like eventually, we have diminished capacity to be like a human, like to be happy, to like just be in the moment, and like accept like the fullness of it, and like savor it, and be in joy of like, even if it's your girlfriend's mad at you and there's nothing you can do about it. It's like, yeah, like you might never experience this again in your life. I don't know. It might be hard to relate, but it's definitely something I had to go through.
Right. Maybe we have one last question. Um, I hear you say to rest and see thoughts and go through the process of I'm not this or that, but is opposite also valid? Young Ka Young talks about integrating the shadow. Oh,
Yeah,
so
that's what I've been talking about this whole time.
yeah, take ownership of that part as well.
Yeah, whatever it is, you take ownership. Like whatever it is that you do. Yeah.
Oh, but I think the caveat
Shame,
is like,
guilt, everything.
yeah, taking ownership doesn't require self-view. I think you've been mentioning that, right, Frank?
Yeah, I've been mentioning that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's very profound, actually. Yeah. Actually, I don't think you can take ownership with the self view. Yeah. Like if you take ownership with the self view, there's always a latency.
Mhm.
Something is getting pushed aside if you take
Mm,
ownership with this.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because with a self-view, you would essentially conceptualize and contain the moment into some sort of shape, right? You would do the name and form. You would buy that
You're memeing taking ownership, kind of.
I'm the victim of the situation, or like I'm the savior, or like I'm a bystander, it has nothing to do with me, or whatever the combination of that is,
Mhm.
right? But in order to take ownership of it totally, then that's literally not possible because you would only take one side of it. So
Yeah.
like, do we have the flexibility to like be like the victim and also like the victimizer, like be the bully and the bully, be like both like the villain and the hero? Because I think
Mm.
like at least personally for me, a lot of the path is to recognize how I'm hurting myself, right? Like I'm the perpetrator of my own suffering. Like, I'm choosing
Mhm.
into this. And that's fucking
Mhm.
sucks to admit that to myself.
Mhm. Yeah.
Mhm.
I think that the question is actually interesting because when we talk about ceasing, it's almost like I think maybe they're understanding it as suppression. And then with suppression, you have no integration, right? Because like you're just from a split, like one hand is just forcing the other hand, right? And it's like, yeah, how do you integrate that? You can't. But with ceasing is not, it's not about suppression. Ceasing is just like more about like recognizing how you're creating these conditions for the moment and choosing according to I don't know what is wise, whatever that means to you. I think, yeah. So I think it's not separate from integration. It's not like entirely integration, but um, I think it would be a problem if cessation was equated to suppression, which is definitely not.
But I feel like it can be appropriated that way though. Yeah. And also
Yeah.
it gets kind of nuanced because I think, like you said, you can have a partial seizing, even by choice, and then maybe you're not aware by doing this, you're suppressing certain things. Definitely a possibility. Yeah.
That's why it's important to like have a group of people that you work with, right? Because it's so easy to like trick ourselves into like, oh yeah, I got it. Okay, I think I got it. I got it. I got it. And then like we can just loop in that way, and like it goes back to the question of like wasting time or whatever. It's not necessarily a waste of time, but I mean like if you work with people, like you can like connect with other people's experiences, and you can kind of see like your own blind spots. Because like how else are we supposed to see our blind spots unless we work with somebody? And like this is yeah, it's more like yeah, we're just gonna be an echo chamber if we just practice by ourselves. Read something online, read other people's experiences, and then we try to apply that. And it's like you'll you could just be reinstantiating your split. You could just be reinstantiating your blind spot by like just how you're absorbing the information, and like you already have a bias for information to be a certain way. You're already looking for a sense of realization or a sense of emptiness or whatever that is. And it's like you're just like getting this feedback loop of all the things that you want to believe, all the things you want to learn, and all the things you want to experience. And then you're going about trying to create that experience. Like, yeah, you're going to experience it, but how do you know like the actual merits of that? Like, is that going to stand up?
Yeah, you can't
Mhm.
really highlight a lot of your afflictions unless you're like interacting with people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that's funny because like even when you're getting pinned, it's like it kind of reveals like the group, like everyone else is getting pinned too. But with you, yours is like a little bit more obvious than the other ones. But that's one. That's the thing we've been the A has been like highlighting, right? It's like when you get pinned, it's not just you getting pinned. Everyone else who's pinning you is getting pinned too.
It's the interdependent nature, right? Of like
Yeah.
the fabric of like reality or existence. It's like there's just no one thing that's
Nothing in
separate.
nature stands alone.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
one
Yeah,
for all and all for one. We all get pinned.
require like the willingness and the willingness to enter the intimacy of the moment, right?
Mhm.
Maybe that's a big problem, which is kind of whatever reason hesitate to enter that kind of intimacy. Maybe you're afraid of being measured, maybe like get
Afraid of
just
being wrong, being stupid. I've been talking
yeah,
about
being wrong,
afraid of being
stupid.
wrong. Yeah.
We just have someone also comment on the chat saying I signed up for cohort 10. Shout out. I sent off my intro and video recording 2 days ago. I was shit scared doing the video recording. It was pretty overwhelming trying to think about 10 years into 10 minutes. Yeah, like a lot of times like we got this 10 years journey and facing that moment of like someone potentially pointing out something that can remove our ground. That's scary, man.
Yeah, yeah. I know a few people in real life that they're starting to get really like what we're doing, like down to zombies, but then they wouldn't apply. Yeah, I don't blame them now. I feel like sometimes we kind of intimidate, but I'm trying to go to the bubble hits. But I don't know. It's like how bad do you want this, right?
Okay. Any concluding thoughts from you guys?
Sit through that if you missed the first one, if you want to be embodied.
Yep. Okay. Thanks, guys.